This is The Tea Project with your host, Gadiel and Michelle, a husband and wife duo where they will be discussing personal finance, managing a household, and so much more. Gadiel is a father, husband, a military veteran, and a lawyer. Michelle is a mother, wife, boss. Each week, they will be providing you with fresh and valuable content, so stay tuned. And now, welcome to The Tea Project.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode on Money Talks on Tea Project.
Hi everybody, if this is the first time you're visiting our channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and also click on the bell so that you don't miss any of our future episodes. Any suggestions, please put them in the comments below so that we can bring valuable information to you.
Folks, it really helps us know how to drive this channel. If you want more episodes on budgeting or saving to invest or stocks or bonds or whatever the case may be, let us know. Leave us a suggestion in the comments section.
We're constantly updating or trying to keep up to date with the stimulus. We've brought a couple of episodes regarding that, and we're going to give you some more information.
Yeah, folks. So why don't we just jump into it? This episode is going to be on the more reasons why you have not gotten your stimulus check. You see, Congress, when they passed the stimulus check, they didn't think about the IRS that much. They didn't think about the IRS's technology, their website, their IT, none of that, because they were not prepared for the amount of people going onto the website, calling the IRS, saying, hey, when am I supposed to receive my stimulus check? And like many people, us included, we are in a position where we don't know how the economy is going to be, how jobs are going to be, how our future is going to be. So any type of compensation or financial assistance is important. So, well, with that said, IRS, in their haste, quickly using their IT, went ahead and used and created a link on their website called Get My Payment. They quickly did this thinking that it was going to be a quick fix. You know, we'll let people go on here, check their status of their check, update their bank information, and that'll be it. The problem is millions of people have not received their stimulus check, and they're all going at the same time to this website,
which is then making them crash.
It's making their website crash. People are getting error messages, so many things. So let's just jump into it. I went and did my research to do this podcast for you today, and I got 9 reasons. And if you fit one of these reasons, look, what I suggest to you from the get-go, if you fit one of these reasons, try and rectify the issue. If it's as simple as going to the IRS, putting the right information, or talking to your tax preparer, or whatever the case may be, you have to do it ASAP. You can't just wait for the IRS or the government to say, hey, let me fix it for you, or you can't even take their word. Okay, I had someone today tell me that they promised me they were going to give me my check by X date, and that X date has gone by, and she didn't receive it. So I told her, listen, you can't take their word. You got to be proactive. This is your money. You got to move. Don't depend on them. So let's jump into it. Okay, number 1, you might have entered the wrong information. So for example, if when you went to this tool, the online tool, Get My Payment, and it asks you for various information, for example, your address or your name, if you entered it incorrectly, or if you entered it and it doesn't match what the IRS has, they can't find you. They won't find your file, and that's a problem. Make sure the information that you put on, it is at a minimum, it matches your recent tax return. Address, name, social has to match what they already have on file. So when you enter it and you miss out a letter or a number, that's not going to fly, folks. Make sure at a minimum, you got to put the right information, at least something that matches your last tax return. You want to add anything to that?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. See, I got to be respectful of my wife, guys. I can't just be mumbling and jumbling, and I got to, this is our show. So anyhow, so number 2, Have you already filed your tax return with a tax preparation service? Now, in this category, there's millions of people that use H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, TurboTax. And if you already filed your 2018 or 2019 tax return with this company before the implementation of the stimulus relief package, it's likely that the IRS doesn't have your bank information on file, because a lot of folks use these services, and these services, the fees they charge come from your refund. So the IRS sends your refund to the tax preparation company's bank so they can take out their fees, and then they send you what remains. So that may be actually that's like 20 something million people are in this boat here. So if you're one of these folks, you need to go to the Get My Payment tool, online tool on the IRS, and put your bank information. They may not have it, I'm telling you. A lot of people in the same boat. So that's number 2. Number 3, if you have not filed your tax return, that's a big one, folks. A lot of folks don't file tax returns, or if they do, they're late. And what do? They ask for an extension. The IRS is using your 2018 or 2019 return. So, for example, you didn't work in 2018, you had no income to report, but you did work in 2019, but for whatever reason, you did not file your tax return yet. That's what the IRS is using. They're basing your eligibility, those 2 years. So if you haven't filed, please talk to your tax preparer and get that done as soon as you can. Okay, so number 4. It's possible that you did file your tax return, but it's still waiting in the queue. You imagine everybody's filing their tax return at the same time, especially now, because you know that the IRS is using your latest tax return to receive the stimulus check. So everybody's filing now. It's possible that your tax return is waiting in the queue and they just haven't processed it yet. So go to Get My Payment and see what the status is regarding that. Number 5, you don't usually file tax returns. So there's a lot of people, for example, SSI recipients, VA benefits recipients. Some of these folks don't usually file a tax return. So what did the IRS have to do in this case? They had to use their counterpart agency, Social Security Administration, to pull this information. Who are the folks that receive these benefits from the Social Security Administration or the VA? Because those folks are eligible. However, they don't file tax returns. So we have nothing for them. What do? They got to ask them, hey, we need the information. So that's becoming a problem. So on the IRS website, they say, hey, these folks, SSI recipients, they may not get their check until sometime in May.
Question with those with SSI. Mm-hmm. Initially, we knew from the information that we had gathered, they had to fill out a form.
Yes.
Is that still?
They did have to fill out a form. Now they don't, because the Social Security Administration is now providing that information. Initially, they did have to provide a form. Okay. So I'm glad you mentioned that. If you're an SSI recipient and you have a qualifying dependent, because remember, if you qualify for the stimulus check and you have, and you have a dependent, you're entitled to the $500 per qualifying dependent. The problem is the IRS doesn't know that because you don't file tax returns, so they're not going to know that you have dependents. So SSI recipients, VA benefits recipients, you have to go onto the IRS website, click on the Get My tool, and let them know you have a dependent. If you do not do it in time, you will not receive the $500 per qualifying dependent. You won't do it. It's on their website. And I think your deadline, don't quote me on this, folks. I think you just need to research. Don't quote me on this. If SSI recipients or VA benefits recipients don't do it before sometime in May, or maybe even sooner, don't quote me on the date, you won't get it until next year.
Next year?
Yes. It's on their website that the SSI recipients or the VA benefits recipients, if they don't let the IRS know that they have qualifying dependents and they receive their stimulus check, it's too late.
Oh, wow.
Those $500 per dependent, they won't get it. They won't get it. It's on the IRS website. They won't get it. So you need to ASAP Get on that Get My Payment tool on the IRS website and let them know you have qualifying dependents. If you don't know what a qualifying dependent is, we did a video on this. I believe it's episode 14 that tells you what a qualified dependent is. If you're eligible for the $1,200, we break it down for you in that episode. So check it out, episode 14. I'll make sure to leave it at the end of this show, one of the links above. Okay, so that was that. I didn't mean to go on a tangent, but I thought it was super important to let you know about that. Okay, so number 6. It's possible that you are not eligible. It's possible. A lot of folks think they're eligible just because, I don't know, for whatever reason, you think you're eligible. However, if you exceed the income threshold, if your AGI exceeds what the limits Congress placed on who receives it, you're not going to receive it. There's no appealing. There's no other way of going around. So like I said, we did an episode on this. I'll leave it at the end of this episode. The link will be above, episode 14, I believe. And just click it and listen to it if you qualify regarding your AGI income threshold. Okay, moving along. Number 7. And this is happening a lot. I'm looking at a lot of blogs. A lot of folks are having this issue. The security questions that you entered were entered incorrectly. So what happens? You entered they have security questions. You entered it wrong. What happens? It locks you out. It locks you out. So if it asks you, whatever question it asks you, if you enter it incorrectly because you just can't remember what answer that applies to, it'll lock you out, folks. So make sure when you go to the quick Get My Payment tool, make sure you're ready to answer it. Because if not, it'll lock you out. And it's 24 hours lockout.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So number 8, same thing. Try again message. If you go in and the Get My Payment tool, you get in there and you put the wrong information, and then you get this message that says try again later, you're going to be locked out for 24 hours. I think that's another issue that the IRS doesn't foresee. 24 hours is a whole day. Mm-hmm. Every day counts.
Yep.
Every day counts. I talked to this lady today who said, listen, I got to pay my bills. So she's depending. A lot of people are depending on this. So, like I said, this was on the part of Congress to pass the legislation to help the American people. They did it in good intentions, but with the good intentions come some side effects, some unintended consequences, and this is one of them. And actually, there is actually a proposal right now in Congress, a bill to do another relief package, another stimulus package for the taxpayer. And this one is interesting. I will do another episode on this one, but this one is something like $2,000 a month for at least 6 months. So, I mean, this is big. This is big, folks. And we'll do another episode on this later. Okay, so number 8. That was number 8. Number 9, the last one. It's possible that your bank is I've been seeing a lot of the blogs, and a lot of banks are reporting this. Number 9, it's possible that because so many people are checking their bank account, like if you have Chase and 100,000 people are checking their Chase, they're logging in, you're causing Chase's platform to crash. They can't take another unintended consequence. They can't take all this. And if there's traffic, and if you haven't noticed, like we got Chase and we got Ally, if you haven't noticed, a lot of banks, the platform, when you go on and log in, first thing you see is like a message, COVID up top, a banner, and it may even look different. And you may have a pop-up that says, hey, if you want to schedule a appointment or a phone call with one of our reps, it'll pop up and do that. Mm-hmm. Where you can talk to your branch representative instead of you just walk into the bank. I went to the bank today, and you cannot go walk in to go to the safe deposit box or to open up a business account. You can't. You got to make an appointment. They turn you right out, and there's nobody waiting in the lobby. They're kicking everybody out. If you come in and you don't have an appointment, you got to go. If you do have an appointment, you can't wait in the lobby. You got to wait outside. So it's fascinating. They have tapes on how far you have to, if you're waiting in line, they have little markers, how far you have to be, 6 feet. It's literally like that. They have markers, tape on the ground. And I get it. They're trying to protect the customers and the employees. But what I'm saying is that the bank system right now is trying to adjust to our new norm, I guess. And so banks are not are trying to adjust as well to the traffic that people are going online, checking every so often, and they just can't take that traffic. So they're having issues too. So folks, those are the 9 reasons why you may not have received your stimulus check. Michelle, I know I kind of talked a lot.
This was all yours.
This was all me, folks. You hear that? And that's rare, folks. If you listen to the other episodes, it's sometimes the other way around. She's the CPA, I'm the lawyer, and so I chime in.
This is legislation.
This is legislation. This is the CARES Act. Congress passed it.
I can help you with what to do with the money.
So she can help you what to do with the money, and then I guess I can help you with any legal troubles or avoiding any legal troubles. That's a little humor, folks. Remember, we always leave a disclaimer. We don't give any advice. Everybody's situation is very different.
Yes.
Even when I have a client come in and they want like a 100% guarantee, and I'm like, no, I can't give you that.
Well, what we offer is just a little bit of perspective. A framework, a way of thinking. It's the methodology that we've adopted from our education, our upbringing, our relationships with other people. So we're just bringing a little perspective to help you guys out. So
right, and remember, at the end of the day, it's you who has to do the work. It's you can take information from someone, but you have to double check, triple check, and at the end, you have to make the move. So we appreciate you listening.
All right, folks, if you'd like us to speak more on this, make sure to leave a comment below and subscribe, and make sure to hit the bell. Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Take care, and God bless.